Miss Happiness and Miss Flower by Rumer Godden, Chapter 7. It was a very strange thing. When Belinda had gone to bed, nobody had seemed to like her. Now in the morning, everybody liked her very much. Nona came running into her room. She looked a new Nona now, with her eyes shining and her hair flying, her cheeks pink. She jumped on Belinda's bed, and in a moment they were hugging one another. "I never thought we would do that," said Belinda. Mother came and gave her a kiss. Father ruffled her hair on his way to the bathroom, and at breakfast everyone seemed to take her part. "I had Miss Happiness and Miss Flower. It wasn't fair," said Nona. "We should have seen Belinda wasn't left out," said Anne. "I'll make you a Japanese dollhouse if you like," said Tom. But as the days went on, Belinda did not really want a Japanese doll's house, though she liked playing now and then with Nona's. "But I wish there was something for me," said Belinda. It was summer now. They all wore thin clothes and sun hats, went bathing, and ate ice cream. The shops were full of cherries, then of peaches. Perhaps it was the peaches that gave Nona her idea. Miss Happiness and Miss Flower spent much of their time in the garden and took in turns to carry the paper sunshade. Nona put clover for chrysanthemums in the flower vase in the niche. Chrysanthemums are Japan's own flowers, and planted them in the egg cups by the steps. The tiny willow tree blossomed. Miss Happiness and Miss Flower had summer kimonos of pale blue, and Anne wove them 2 flat hats of yellow straw. Mr. Twilfit, Mrs. Ashton, and Millie often came to visit them. Miss Lane sent a scroll for summer with a lotus flower and a butterfly. In the evenings, the garden lantern shone pale in the dusk. "How beautiful it is," said Miss Happiness, and Miss Flower had a moment of being frightened. Her chip had been painted over again, but she still could not forget the night in the dusty doll's house. "Miss Nona has opened our traveling box again. Why? Why?" she asked. But Nona was only studying the piece of paper that said, "I send you Miss Happiness, Miss Flower, and Little Peach." "Mother, did you ever write to Great Aunt Lucy Dickinson?" asked Nona. "Why, I forgot," said Mother. "Could a letter get to America fast?" asked Nona. "Of course it could, by air. If I write to Great Aunt Lucy Dickinson, will you help me to buy the stamp? It's a secret," said Nona. The stamp cost 1 shilling and 3 pence, nearly 2 whole 9 pences. This is the letter Nona sent. "Dear Great Aunt Lucy Dickinson, Miss Happiness and Miss Flower are well. We have made them a new house. But where is Little Peach? He wasn't in the box. Please send him. From your loving niece, Nona Fell. P.S. When you answer, please put private." This is how she spelt private, as you know. She had not been at school very long. She wanted the answer marked private so that no one else would open it. And she added something else. "P.P.S. Please send him quickly." After Nona had posted the letter, she began to look in the shops to see how big the peaches were. It was 3 weeks later, a hot, sunny morning, and they all had peaches for breakfast. "Christopher Columbus," said Tom. "Is it someone's birthday?" "Yes," said Mother, and Nona giggled. Miss Happiness and Miss Flower were at breakfast, too. They had paint water tea on their table, tomatoes, which were berries, and white cotton rice. They ate with new pine needle chopsticks. There were fresh trefoil flowers in the vase. Trefoil looks like doll's house yellow chrysanthemums, and everything was extra fresh and tidy. "Is it a birthday?" asked Tom. Miss Happiness and Miss Flower had their heads bent over their rice, but their glass eyes looked as if they were twinkling. The biggest peach was Belinda's. It was so big that it looked as if it were spilling over her plate. "Hey, I ought to have that one," said Father. "It's Belinda's," said Mother, and Nona gave another giggle. Mother showed Belinda how to slip her knife in to slit it, but as Belinda touched it, the peach seemed to wobble, then came in half. Belinda's eyes grew rounder and rounder, for there in the middle of the peach was a boy doll baby. "A Japanese boy doll baby," said Miss Happiness and Miss Flower. He was little and fat, perhaps 2 inches high, wearing nothing at all, but with black hair. There was a piece of paper over it to protect it from the peach juice, but Belinda snatched it off. His eyes were black glass slits, and he had a smile, just like Miss Happiness. Belinda stared and stared. Then, "How?" she cried. "How?" "Never mind how," said Mother, and Nona said, "Who is it?" With her eyes like bright blue saucers, Belinda whispered, It's Little Peach." The end. If you get the book, it has all the instructions for how to make your own dollhouse, your own Japanese dollhouse. looks like a lot of hard work.